Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name, after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started. All right, we are ready for our weights class today. So we're going to start in our standing position, swinging our arms side to side, bringing a little motion through our bodies, checking in, warming up, seeing how everything's feeling this morning. If everything feels pretty good, go ahead and start turning a little further. Maybe let those heels lift. Let your arms swing a little further, a little faster. Just a couple more here. And then bringing everything back into center, going straight into our big side bends. Reaching nice and active. Bringing some space through the side body and still checking in, assessing your back, your shoulders. Beautiful. From here, moving into that nice forward reach. A little bit of bending, checking in with the lower back. Beautiful, nice forward reach. And then we're gonna add one more step, reaching all the way down, or at least as close as you can get, with a little extra bending. Checking in once again with the back and now into the lower body. Beautiful. Finishing off here, coming into our high knee march. Nice, add in a little arm swing. Still working on warming everything up. And then instead of our hip circles today, we're gonna do some nice, they're still hip circles, just in a different direction. Some nice big steps, hip openers to really warm up those hip flexors. Perfect, do two more on each side. And then wiggle those fingers and toes, bend the wrists, couple quick bops up and down for the ankles. Nice, and then grab your weights. We're gonna start with just one weight. You might wanna go a little heavy for this one. And you're gonna hold it right in the center of your chest. From here, you're gonna find whatever kind of squat you can maintain, and then we're gonna do a side step. Just back and forth. Gonna really work our lower body on this one. All right, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. If you have enough space and you wanna add a little extra side movement, you can do 3. Beautiful. Not everybody has that much space. So just the one back and forth will still help you get that same lateral work. Halfway there already. 5 more seconds. And time. Beautiful. All right, from here, you're definitely gonna want to go down to a little bit lighter weight. We're gonna do a variation of a front raise. We're gonna combine it with our around the world. So we're gonna go up and around, and then at the bottom, we're gonna do a front raise, but with our palms up. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. A nice, steady, solid core. Pulling that tummy in. And you're not lifting super high in the front. Just up to maybe shoulder height. Beautiful. Slow and steady on this one. Take care of those shoulders. The front raise with the palms up is something that we don't do very often. It's a good way to help strengthen the biceps as well as the rotator cuff. 15 seconds to go. Keep breathing. Make sure you're keeping a soft bend in the elbows the whole time. And time. All right, set those weights down for just a second. Woo, shake those arms out. Now, we're gonna go into a deadlift with an upright row. We're gonna do it all on one side. So starting with your left, well, really, you can start with whatever side. You're gonna have 1 foot back, come all the way down, up into that upright row. We're gonna do 1 minute on each side. Here we go. Now I went back to my heavier weight for this one, but you assess where you are between the deadlift and the row. Go with whichever one you need the lighter weight for. Pick your weight based on that. You can always work up to a higher weight, but if you go for one that's a little too heavy for a particular exercise and you get hurt, then you got all those setbacks to deal with. Plus, you know, that's just unpleasant. Beautiful, nice and steady. You're over halfway there already. Keeping a nice flat back. Time. All right. Switching sides. Maybe roll through that shoulder just for a moment. And then here we go on the other side. One foot behind you like a little kickstand. So you can really push through the heel on that front leg, making sure you're activating that whole back side of your leg and your lower back and your glutes. If we want to be fancy, we'll call it the posterior chain. It's always fun when you get to use the big words. 20 seconds to go. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. All right. Now, from here, we're going to go into a little bit of a balance challenge. So grab, I don't know, a light to a medium weight. You're going to pick one knee up and you're going to try to balance while you're doing bicep curls on the other side. So judge what weight is going to work for you accordingly, and I'll tell you when to switch sides. Here we go. And of course, if you need to tap that toe down, go for it. Even if you do balance work, a lot of times we do it just standing still with no extra movement. Adding that bicep curl in, makes it a lot more challenging. Switching sides in 3, 2, 1, and time. Changing that focal point also is a way to make it more challenging. So if you're super good at balance work, try looking around the room while you're doing this. Or if you really want an extra challenge, close your eyes. Beautiful, you guys are rock stars. And time. All right, last one. We're actually gonna set the weights down for this one. We're gonna come into not even a squat. We're just gonna soften our knees a little bit, bring our hands up in front. We're gonna do a kickboxing, well, just a boxing one for here, for this exercise. You're gonna step with one foot, hook, hook, step back, and then go to the other side, hook, hook. So 1, 2, back to center, 1, 2. Here we go. Make sure you're breathing. And if you can, try to bring those hands back to your face each time. That's going to help you keep your upper body in a good posture and your arms nice and active the whole time. Plus, it's good form. Beautiful, looking good. Now, if you've never done a hook punch before, you're basically making a right angle with your arm here and just swinging it right in front of your face. 1, 2. Beautiful. You got it. And time. That is our first round. You did a fantastic job. Reward your body with some water, and then we have 2 more sets to go. All right, bringing it back in, grabbing whatever weight is right for you for that lateral stepping squat. Again, pulling out my big words here. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. Again, squat as deep as feels sustainable to you. So if you feel like, oh, it's not really much of a challenge, try deepening the squat a little bit. But because you're staying in it for a full minute, you don't want to cause yourself any pain here. If you feel any pinching, any stabbing, any tingling, go ahead and come up a little bit and find a more sustainable position. 20 seconds to go. Beautiful. Time. Nice work. All right, from here, we're gonna grab our lighter weights for that around the world with the front raise. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice and steady. Pulling in our belly. And once again, busting out our big words. That palm up front raise is called a supinated front raise. So you want to sound super fancy when you're describing your workout today. You did lateral stepping squats, supinated front raises, deadlifts with upright rows, balance work with a bicep curl, and a boxing combo with hook punches. Got a lot going on today. 10 seconds to go. time. All right, from here, getting ready for that deadlift. Again, grabbing the weight that's right for you. I like my heavier one for this. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. Nice and steady. Now, I use dumbbells for this exercise because that's honestly what I have, and I have limited space. I can't carry a whole bunch of equipment with me all the time. But this is a great one to do with a kettlebell. You can also use resistance bands. You have a lot of options here. You could even use a barbell if you have a whole home gym set up, and just use both hands. Time. All right, switching sides, making sure you take a second to roll through that shoulder. Upright rows are kind of a lot of work. All right, 1 minute on the other side. Here we go. Beautiful, you got it. Soft bend in that knee and driving down through the heel. And time. Nice job. All right, next up we have our balance challenge. So grab the weight that's right for you. We'll do 30 seconds on each side. I'll tell you when to switch sides. Here we go. I don't know about you, but I am definitely warmed up now. You may be asking, how high should I lift my knee for that balance challenge? I don't care. However high is good for you. You can even just lift your heel and keep your toe on the ground. Switching sides now. Or you can pick it up super high and turn it into a crunch, or anything in between. Totally up to you. And of course, you can always set that toe down anytime you need to reset. Time. Nice job. All right, last up we have, if I can make my timer stop, we have our hook punches. So finding that nice centered stance, hands right up in front of your face. Make sure your floor is clear, no weights to trip over. And here we go. Stop, punch, punch, back to center. Breathing the whole time. Making that nice right angle with your arm. When I used to teach kids, I would always tell them, make a muscle just like this, and then just turn it sideways. Swing it around, that's your hook punch. It's a good way to remember it. Because, you know, who doesn't like making a muscle? Feeling nice and strong, showing off those guns. 5 seconds to go. Maybe that's just me. And time. All right. That is the end of our second set. Grab a little more water, and then I'm gonna do the third set seated. So if you're here for the seated variations, they're coming right up. All right, grab the weight that is right for you. Coming in for that side squat. And here we go. So for the seated variation, I'm gonna do a chair assisted squat, and then just, ooh, I gotta move my timer there, a step to each side. So I'm still working the same muscles, just in a little more gentle manner. Beautiful. If you want to add a little extra work for your upper body, if you're saying, you know, this one turned out to be easier than I thought it was, hold that weight further out away from your body. Add in a little extra arm work there. 10 seconds to go. And time. Nice. All right, up next, we have those around the world with our super fancy supinated front raise. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. For the seated variation, I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm not bringing the weights quite as far in front of my body because, you know, my legs are in the way. But that's okay. I'm still getting plenty of arm work. I'm sitting up nice and tall, reaching up through the crown of my head, just like I was when I was standing. So I'm getting good core work here too. Halfway done. "15 seconds to go. You got this. Last round. You can always set the weights down and do it empty hand. And time. Nice. All right, here we go. Next up is our deadlift. So again, grabbing the weight that's right for you. Making sure your space is clear. Deadlift into an upright row. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. For the seated version, hold the weight out to the side so you can do that front row as you sit up. And the same thing, you're just leaning down with a nice flat back. Halfway done. Holding that row out to the side changes the work a little bit. So make sure you're assessing how your shoulder's feeling. Remember, we don't want to feel any pain. We only want to feel the muscle work, but no pinching, stabbing, tingling, nothing like that. Time. All right, switching sides. Roll through that shoulder for just a moment. And here we go. you may see that I'm reaching all the way towards the floor. And you may say, Audra, I can't reach the floor. That's okay. I don't care. It doesn't matter how far you go, as long as you keep that nice flat back and you're pressing through your heel, you're still working the same muscles. So it really doesn't matter how far over you bend. Almost there. Time. All right. Next up, our high knee hold with our bicep curl, or our low knee hold, whatever kind of hold you want to do. All right, 1 minute on the clock. I'll tell you when to switch. Here we go. Now, you have a couple of options here. You can just hold that leg up, so you're getting a lot of extra work, activating the muscles there in the leg and in the core. Or you can do a chair assist. So you're still working on your balance, but with that chair there for support. Up to you. You choose which one you like. I really like the extra work that I get from holding that leg up the whole time. Switching sides now. Beautiful. Nice and solid. And time. All right, last up, we have our hook punches. Now, if you've got the hook punches down and you want to add a little light weight to it, you can absolutely hold a weight in your hand while you're doing it. But I would start with something nice and light. Now, if you're doing the seated version, it's really not that different. You're just going to step and do the punches from the chair. 1 minute. Here we go. So step, hook, hook, back to center. Still bringing those hands back to your face each time. Still making that nice right angle with your arms. I'm being pretty active with my step, almost a step scoot. But you can also just hook it out right in the center. If you really want to focus on the upper body here. Especially if you're doing the chair version. And time. Nice job. That is the end of our third set. You did amazing today. Go grab a little more water. All we have left is our final stretch. All right, making sure your space is clear. Move those weights out of the way. Bringing everything in. Feet about hip width apart, nice and steady and slow. Take a deep breath. Just let everything relax. And then on your next inhale, bring those arms up overhead, fold forward, softening down towards the floor. And then big bend in the knees, rolling up nice and slow. Roll those shoulders down and back 3 times. And then breathe the arms up overhead again. Fold forward. Once again, nice big bend in the knees. Roll up. And this time, roll the shoulders forward 3 times. Stepping your feet out a little wider. Breathe those arms up. And then fold forward. Reaching down towards the floor. Take a moment, let everything soften. And then coming up to a nice flat back. We're gonna walk our hands forward just a little bit and press in so that we feel a stretch through the backs of our shoulders. Maybe through your hamstrings as well. Depends on where you're tight. One more breath here. Pressing down into the floor and then coming back up. Walk those hands in. Bend the knees. Come all the way up. Taking a deep breath here. Bring the arms up overhead again. This time we're going to reach down to one side. Down towards the foot, the ankle, whatever is in reach. One more breath here, stretching through the side body, maybe even bending that back knee just a little. Feel more of a stretch through that inner thigh. And then straightening up, walking your hands around to the other side. Again, stretching through the side body, taking some nice deep breaths to bring a little more space to the ribs. And then if it feels good, maybe bend that back knee to add that little inner thigh stretch. And then back to the middle. Big bend in the knees. Roll all the way up. Settle those shoulders down and back. Go ahead and bring your feet in. We're going to finish off with our shoulder stretch. You guys know the one. And then maybe look over to one side. Maybe look over to the other side. See what feels good moving through your neck. And then come back to center and release. Let's do the other arm. Making sure we're keeping that shoulder down from the chin. And then moving through your neck, however feels good for you. Back to center. Let everything soften down. And then one more nice deep breath. Bring it in super big. Let your arms drift down. Big loud sigh. And you are done.